Speaking English with Anna.
Hello, beautiful learners. Welcome back to another episode of Speak English with Anna. I'm so happy to have you here with us today. I'm Anna.
And hello, everyone. I'm Mike. It is always a pleasure to be back in the studio. You know, Anna, I woke up feeling really energized today.
That is great to hear, Mike. Why the sudden burst of energy?
Well, I realized that we're building something really special here with our community. Every time I read the comments, I see people trying so hard to improve their lives. It is inspiring.
It truly is. Our community is amazing. And speaking of improving our lives, today we are going to discuss a topic that I believe is the missing link for so many people.
The missing link? That sounds mysterious. Is it a secret grammar rule?
No, it's not grammar, Mike. It is something much deeper. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever started a new project or a new diet or maybe started learning a new language, but then quit after 2 weeks?
Oh, wow. You are talking directly to me now. Yes, absolutely. I think I have bought 3 different gym memberships in my life and only used them for a month. It is really frustrating.
You are not alone, Mike. Most of us struggle with this. We have the motivation to start, but we lack the power to keep going. That is why today's topic is the power of consistency.
Consistency. It is such a common word, but it feels very heavy.
It is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. Without it, you are just a dreamer. With it, you become an achiever. And today, we're going to break down exactly how to master it.
I really need this lesson, Anna, and I'm sure everyone watching needs it too, especially for learning English.
Exactly. Learning English is a marathon, not a sprint. So before we dive into the secrets of staying consistent, I want to invite everyone watching to make a small commitment right now.
What kind of commitment?
If you're ready to stop starting and stopping and finally achieve your fluency goals, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Think of it as your first act of consistency today. You're not just subscribing to a channel, you're making a promise to yourself to show up and learn with us.
I love that. A promise to yourself. So, click that button, turn on the notification bell, and let's start this journey together.
Are you ready to unlock your potential, Mike?
I am ready, Anna. Let's do this. All right, Anna, we have made the commitment. We are ready to learn. But I want to dig deeper into this word, consistency. I feel like people use this word a lot, but what does it actually mean in the context of success?
That is a very important question, Mike. A lot of people misunderstand consistency. They think consistency means being perfect. They think it means acting like a robot, doing the exact same thing at the exact same time with 0 mistakes forever.
Yes, that is exactly what I thought. It sounds exhausting. It sounds like there is no room for error. And honestly, that is why I usually quit. I feel like if I miss one day, I am no longer consistent, so I just give up.
And that's the trap. Let's redefine it right now. Consistency isn't about perfection. It is about reliability and frequency. It's not about never messing up. It's about refusing to give up.
I like that distinction, refusing to give up. But can you give me a concrete example?
Sure. Let's talk about something simple. Brushing your teeth. Mike, do you brush your teeth?
Yes, Anna, I hope so. Twice a day, every day.
Okay, let me ask you this. If you brush your teeth for 2 minutes right now, will your teeth be perfect? Will they be white and shining instantly?
No, probably not. It's just 2 minutes.
Okay, what if you stop brushing for a whole month and then, right before you go to the dentist, you brush your teeth for 3 hours straight? Will that work?
Absolutely not. My gums would bleed and my teeth would still be unhealthy. You can't cheat the system like that.
Exactly. That's the difference between intensity and consistency. Brushing for 3 hours is intensity. Brushing for 2 minutes twice a day is consistency.
Wow, that makes so much sense. We always look for intensity, right? We want the crash course or the 7-day transformation.
Correct. We live in a world that loves intensity. We love the big romantic gestures or the all-night study sessions. But intensity does not last. Consistency is boring, Mike. It is mundane, it is unsexy, but it is the only thing that works.
Mundane. That is a great word. It means dull or ordinary, right?
Yes, consistency is just showing up and doing the small, ordinary things over and over again until they become extraordinary. It means studying English for 15 minutes on a Tuesday night when you're tired and you would rather watch Netflix.
So consistency is essentially a habit that sticks.
It is a habit, but it's also an identity. When you are consistent, you stop saying, I am trying to learn English. You start saying, I am an English learner. It becomes who you are.
I see. So we need to stop focusing on the big splash and start focusing on the slow, steady drip of water.
Exactly. There's a saying, water cuts through rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence. That's consistency.
That is powerful. Water cuts through rock. Okay, I think I understand the definition now. It's not about being a superhero once a year. It's about being a reliable person every day.
You got it, Mike. And once you understand that, you start to see why the results happen, which brings us to our next point, how these small actions actually build up.
I'm ready to hear about that. Let's move on.
So, we have defined consistency. It is showing up every day, doing the small, boring things. But Mike, I can see a question in your eyes. You're wondering, is it really worth it?
You read my mind, Anna. I mean, logically, I understand it, but emotionally, it is hard. If I study English for 15 minutes today, I don't feel smarter. If I study again tomorrow, I still don't feel fluent. It feels like nothing is happening.
That is exactly how it feels. And that is why I want to introduce you to a concept called the snowball effect. Have you ever made a snowball, Mike?
Yes, when I was a kid, you start with a little ball of snow in your hands.
Right. Imagine you're at the top of a very long, snowy hill. You make a small snowball, maybe the size of a tennis ball. If you place it on the ground and roll it once, does it look different?
Not really. It just picks up a tiny bit of snow. It looks basically the same.
Exactly. And if you roll it 10 times?
It might be a little bigger, maybe the size of a grapefruit, but still, it's not impressive.
This is the danger zone. This is where 90% of people quit. They put in the work, they roll the ball, but because the size hasn't doubled instantly, they think their effort is wasted. They say, this isn't working, and they walk away.
I've definitely been there. I remember trying to learn guitar. I practiced for 2 weeks, my fingers hurt, and I still sounded terrible. So I stopped.
You stopped right before the magic happens. You see, the snowball effect is about momentum and surface area. As the snowball rolls, it gets bigger. Because it gets bigger, it has more surface area to pick up more snow. And because it gets heavier, it rolls faster.
So the results multiply?
Precisely. It's geometric growth, not linear growth. At first, you're adding snow grain by grain, but eventually that snowball becomes a boulder. It becomes huge, and once it's that big, it becomes unstoppable. It crushes everything in its path.
So in the beginning, you have to push the snowball, but later the snowball rolls by itself.
That is a brilliant way to put it, Mike. Yes. When you first start learning English, you have to force yourself. You have to push hard to learn those first 50 words. It feels heavy. But after a year of consistency, you watch a movie and you understand it without trying. You speak without translating in your head. The snowball is rolling on its own.
That sounds amazing. That's the momentum taking over.
Yes, but you cannot get the momentum without the initial struggle. There's a quote I love. Overnight success usually takes about 10 years.
That is funny, but true. We see the big snowball at the bottom of the hill and think, wow, that happened fast. We don't see the person pushing the tiny ball at the top for months.
Exactly. So, to our listeners, if you're in the early stages and you feel like you aren't making progress, please just keep rolling the ball. The physics will work. The compound effect will kick in. You just have to survive the beginning.
I feel much better knowing that. The silence, the lack of results, it's not failure. It's just the beginning of the snowball.
It's just the gathering phase. You're gathering the snow. The avalanche is coming.
Okay, I'm ready to keep rolling. But why do we still find it so hard to stick to the plan mentally?
That's all about psychology, Mike. And that leads us to our next section, understanding why we quit.
Okay, Anna, we have established that consistency is the key, and we know that the snowball effect eventually pays off. But if the formula is so simple, just keep going, why is it so incredibly hard? Why do so many of us quit before we see the results?
It is the million-dollar question, Mike. We are biologically wired to seek comfort and conserve energy. But beyond biology, I think the biggest reason people quit is a psychological trap. It is what I call the goal obsession.
Goal obsession? Wait a minute. Are you saying we shouldn't have goals? I thought having a goal was the first step to success.
Having a goal is important for direction. It tells you where to go. But having a goal is terrible for progress. Let me explain. When you are obsessed with the goal, let's say, I want to speak perfect English. Where's your focus?
My focus is on the future, on the day I can finally speak perfectly.
Exactly. And what does that make you feel about the present moment?
Honestly, it makes me feel bad. It highlights what I don't have yet. It reminds me that I am not good enough right now.
Precisely. This is the gap. It is the painful distance between where you are and where you want to be. Every day you wake up and realize you haven't reached the mountain peak yet, you feel like a failure. You live in a state of constant dissatisfaction.
Wow, that is heavy. I do that all the time. I tell myself, I'll be happy when I lose 10 kilograms, or I'll be happy when I get that promotion.
And that makes the journey miserable, Mike. If the journey is miserable, you won't stick with it. You'll quit because no one wants to be unhappy for months or years waiting for a reward.
So we quit because the pain of the gap becomes too heavy to carry.
Yes, that is reason number one. Reason number two is comparison. In the age of social media, this is a killer.
Oh, I know this one. I go on Instagram and I see someone who learned English in 3 months and sounds like a native speaker.
And how does that make you feel? Inspired?
No, it makes me feel slow. It makes me feel stupid. I think if they did it so fast and I'm still struggling, something must be wrong with me. So I quit.
Exactly. But you're comparing your chapter 1 to their chapter 20. You don't see their struggle. You only see their highlight reel.
Comparison steals your consistency because it destroys your confidence. This is really opening my eyes. We focus on the goal, which makes us feel far away, and we focus on others, which makes us feel slow. No wonder we stop rolling the snowball.
There's one more reason, Mike. It's the all or nothing mentality.
Ah, the perfectionist trap.
Yes, people think I promised to study for 1 hour today. I only have 20 minutes free, so it's not worth it. I will do nothing.
I'm guilty of this. I think if I can't do it perfectly, why bother?
And that 0 is what kills consistency. 20 minutes is infinitely better than 0, but because we can't be perfect, we choose to be nothing.
So, to summarize, we quit because we hate the present moment, we compare ourselves to others, and we're perfectionists.
That sums it up. To win, we have to flip the script. We have to fall in love with the boredom. We have to ignore other people's speed, and we have to be okay with imperfect progress.
That sounds liberating. If I can just enjoy the process of learning today, I don't need to stress about the result tomorrow.
Exactly. Happiness is not at the finish line, Mike. Happiness is on the path.
I love that. Okay, so now that we know the traps, how do we actually stay on the path? You mentioned a specific rule earlier.
Yes, the 2-day rule. It's my favorite strategy for beating these traps. Let's talk about that next.
All right, Anna, you have convinced me. I want to be consistent. I want to build that snowball. But I also know myself. I am human. I get sick, I get busy, and sometimes I just get lazy. How do I stay consistent when life gets in the way?
That is the reality, Mike. We are not robots. Life is unpredictable. If your plan requires you to be perfect 100% of the time, your plan will fail. That is why I live by one golden rule, the 2-day rule.
The 2-day rule. You mentioned this earlier. How does it work exactly?
It is very simple. I allow myself to skip one day of my habit, but I never, under any circumstances, skip 2 days in a row.
Wait, so you're actually allowing yourself to fail?
I don't call it failing, I call it living. Let's say my goal is to study English for 30 minutes every day. If I have a crazy deadline at work on Tuesday and I come home exhausted, I might skip studying. That is okay.
Okay, so Tuesday is a skip day. What happens on Wednesday?
Wednesday is non-negotiable. On Wednesday, I must study. Even if I'm tired, even if I don't want to, I have to get back on track.
Why is the second day so critical? Why not take a 3-day break?
Because of momentum. Skipping one day is just a mistake or a break. Skipping 2 days is the start of a new habit.
Ah, I see. So if I skip Tuesday and Wednesday, suddenly not studying becomes my new normal.
Exactly. Once you miss 2 days, the resistance to start again becomes double. You start feeling guilty, you start forgetting the routine. The snowball stops rolling and starts melting.
That is a really helpful psychological trick because usually when I miss one day, I beat myself up. I say, oh no, I broke the streak, I ruined everything. And then I just quit entirely.
That is the perfectionist mindset we talked about. The 2-day rule kills perfectionism. It gives you permission to have a bad day without destroying your long-term progress. It turns quitting into just a pause.
But Anna, what if on that second day I am still genuinely busy? What if I physically cannot do my 30-minute study session?
Then you reduce the intensity, but you keep the habit. This is crucial, Mike. Consistency is more important than intensity.
Meaning?
If you can't do 30 minutes, do 5 minutes. If you can't read a whole chapter, read 1 page. If you can't go to the gym for an hour, do 10 push-ups in your living room.
So just show up?
Just show up. Prove to yourself that you are still the person who does this at it. You are voting for your identity. Even a 5-minute session keeps the streak alive in your brain.
That is such a relief. I always thought if I couldn't do the full workout, it didn't count. But you're saying the act of showing up is the victory.
The victory is in the return. The hardest part of consistency isn't the work itself, it's the getting back to it after a break. The 2-day rule forces you to practice getting back to it immediately.
I love this. It feels flexible but disciplined at the same time.
It is sustainable, Mike, and sustainability is the only way to reach the finish line.
I'm definitely going to use this. But you know, sometimes even with this rule, I still wait for that feeling to strike. You know, that spark of energy.
You mean motivation?
Yes. Why can't I just wait until I feel motivated?
Oh, Mike, if you wait for motivation, you will be waiting forever. Let's talk about the difference between motivation and discipline next. This is where most people get confused. We ended the last section with a very interesting thought from you, Mike. You said you often wait for that spark before you start working. You wait to feel like it.
Yes, exactly. I mean, isn't it better to do something when you are excited about it? When I'm motivated, I feel like I can conquer the world. The words flow easily, the exercise feels great. Why shouldn't I wait for that feeling?
Because, Mike, motivation is a fair weather friend.
A fair weather friend? You mean a friend who is only there when things are good?
Exactly. Motivation is an emotion, just like happiness, sadness, or anger. It comes and goes. It is unpredictable. If you only worked when you felt happy, how often would you work?
Maybe 2 or 3 days a week. Definitely not every day.
Right, and that is the trap. Amateurs wait for inspiration. Professionals just get to work. If you rely on motivation, you are leaving your success up to chance. You're gambling with your future based on your mood.
That is a scary thought. So if motivation is the spark, what is discipline?
Discipline is the engine. It is the ability to give yourself a command and follow it, regardless of how you feel emotionally. It means doing what you need to do, even when you are tired, bored, or uninspired.
That sounds hard, Anna. It sounds like forcing yourself to be miserable.
It feels hard before you start. This is the secret, Mike. Most people think the order is first motivation, then action. They think, I need to feel good to start studying.
Yes, that is exactly what I think. Is that wrong?
It is completely backwards. The truth is, first action, then motivation.
Wait, really? The action causes the motivation?
Yes. Have you ever didn't want to clean your house? You sat on the sofa looking at the mess, feeling lazy?
Oh, all the time. I hate cleaning.
But then you force yourself to wash just one dish, and then suddenly you wash another, and 10 minutes later you're scrubbing the floor and listening to music, feeling great. What happened?
I guess once I started, it wasn't so bad. I actually got into a rhythm.
Exactly. The action created the momentum, which created the motivation. You didn't wait to feel good to start cleaning. You started cleaning and then you felt good.
That is a game changer. So I don't need to feel like studying English. I just need to open the book.
Correct. You just need enough discipline to do the first 2 minutes. That's the hardest hurdle. Once you're over that, the motivation will catch up with you.
So discipline is actually a form of freedom?
Beautifully said, Mike. Yes, discipline equals freedom. It frees you from being a slave to your moods. If you are disciplined, you are in control, not your emotions.
I need to write that down. Discipline equals freedom.
Think of it this way. Motivation gets you started. Habit keeps you going. But discipline is what saves you when both motivation and habit fail.
It's the safety net.
It is the foundation of everything. So stop asking yourself, do I feel like doing this? Asking yourself that question is dangerous. Instead, say, this is what I do. I am a person who studies English. And then just start.
No thinking, just doing.
Precisely. Don't negotiate with your brain. Your brain is lazy. It will always try to talk you out of hard work. Just shut off the negotiation and move.
Okay, ironically, I feel very motivated hearing about discipline.
See, it works. Now let's take all these big concepts, consistency, snowballs, the 2-day rule, and discipline, and look at how we can apply them specifically to learning English right now.
Perfect. Let's get practical. Okay, Anna, we have built the mindset. We understand the psychology. Now I want to get tactical. What does a consistent English learning routine actually look like? Do I need to wake up at 4 a.m. and study grammar books for 2 hours?
Please don't do that, Mike. That is the quickest way to burn out. Remember, we are building a snowball, not an avalanche. The key to applying consistency to English is integration, not addition.
Integration, not addition. What does that mean?
Many people try to add English to their busy lives. They think, I have to find an extra hour in my day. But we're all busy. You won't find that hour. Instead, you must integrate English into the things you are already doing.
Can you give me a real-life example?
Sure. Let's look at your morning routine. You drink coffee every morning, right?
I can't survive without it.
Great. That is an existing habit. Now we use a technique called habit stacking. While you drink your coffee, which takes maybe 10 minutes, you listen to an English podcast. You don't need extra time. You're just changing the soundtrack of your coffee time.
That sounds incredibly doable. So I'm not studying, I'm just enjoying my coffee with some English background noise.
Exactly. Now let's talk about vocabulary. A lot of students try to memorize 20 words on Sunday. By Tuesday, they forget them.
Guilty as charged. It goes one ear and out the other.
Instead, apply the snowball effect. Learn just one word a day, just one, but do it every single day. Write it on a sticky note and put it on your bathroom mirror.
Just one word? That feels too easy.
It feels easy, which means you'll actually do it. And think about the math, Mike. One word a day is 365 words a year. 3 years from now, you have over 1,000 active words. That's enough to be fluent in most daily conversations.
When you look at the math, it's undeniable. Okay, so we have listening and vocabulary. What about speaking? That's the hardest part to be consistent with because we often don't have partners.
You don't need a partner to practice consistency. You need the shadowing technique.
Shadowing? Is that like following someone?
Not quite. It means listening to a native speaker, like me in this video, and repeating exactly what I say immediately after I say it. You mimic the speed, the emotion, and the intonation. You can do this alone in your room or in your car while driving.
So I'm basically acting.
Yes, be an actor. Do this for just 5 minutes a day. It builds muscle memory in your mouth. If you wait until you meet a foreigner to practice speaking, you'll be waiting a long time. If you talk to yourself every day, you're ready when the moment comes.
I love that. Talk to yourself. It might look crazy to my neighbors, but hey, if it helps me learn.
Touché. Okay, one last scenario. Let's say you had a terrible day at work. You're exhausted. Your brain is dead. You really want to use the 2-day rule and skip, but you already skipped yesterday. You have to do something today. What is the lazy version of consistency?
I love this question. When your energy is at 10%, you lower the bar. Do not try to read a complex article. Instead, do something passive and enjoyable. Watch a 5-minute English video on YouTube about a topic you love, like cooking or football or cars. So, consuming content I actually like, but just doing it in English.
Exactly. Your brain relaxes because you're watching something fun, but you're still maintaining the connection with the language. You kept the streak alive.
That's the secret, isn't it? It's not always about hard study, it's about keeping the connection alive.
Spot on, Mike. Never let the connection die. Even a weak signal is better than no signal.
Never let the connection die. I think that's the perfect motto for our listeners.
It is, and if you follow these small, integrated steps, you won't even realize how much you're learning until one day you wake up and realize you're speaking English.
That's the dream, and now we know it is possible.
It is absolutely possible. Shall we wrap this up and send our listeners off with some final encouragement?
Let's do it. Wow, Anna, I have to say, this conversation has been a real eye-opener for me. When we started this episode, I felt quite heavy about the idea of consistency. It felt like a burden, but now I actually feel light. I feel capable.
That makes me so happy to hear, Mike. That shift in perspective from I have to be perfect to I just have to keep showing up is everything. Once you take the pressure off, the process actually becomes enjoyable.
Exactly. I am not thinking about the mountain anymore. I'm just looking at the snowball in my hands. I'm ready to start rolling it.
And to everyone watching right now, I want you to feel that same lightness. Please remember, you do not need to be a genius to learn English. You do not need to have a special talent for languages.
You just need patience.
Yes, patience and persistence. Don't worry about how fast other people are running. This is your race. This is your journey. Even if you move slowly, as long as you do not stop, you are lapping everyone who is sitting on the couch.
A slow walker gets there faster than a fast runner who quits.
Beautifully said, Mike. So here's our final challenge to you. We don't want you to just watch this video and forget it. We want you to take action.
What should they do, Anna?
Go down to the comment section right now. We want you to make a public declaration. Type the phrase, I am consistent.
I love that. I am consistent. It's a simple affirmation, but writing it down makes it real.
Exactly. And tell us one small habit you are going to start today. Is it listening to a podcast? Is it learning one word? Share it with us. We read every single comment, and we want to cheer you on.
And hey, if you found value in this video, if it helped change your mindset even a little bit, please hit that like button. It really helps the algorithm show this video to other learners who might be struggling.
And if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed to Speak English with Anna. We're building a community of consistent learners here, and we want you to be a part of it.
We have so many more exciting topics coming up to help you master English, so don't miss out.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Remember, the power is in your hands. Keep rolling that snowball, keep showing up, and trust the process.
You've got this. See you in the next video, everyone.
Bye. Keep learning, keep growing.